Hello, welcome to Smash Hit Sports. Today we are going to be ranking all of the open head coaching positions in college football. There's 5 right now, and then I'm going to give who my pick would be as the head coach for each team. They are my favorites. Whether it's realistic or not, we'll see, but this is who I would want to see coaching those programs. Before we get into it, hit that like and subscribe. It's the best way to help the channel, and to subscribe is free 99. So if you could hit that subscribe button, it allows us to do incredible things, go talk to incredible people, have some great interviews on. It would be a huge help to the channel. Now, let's get into it. There are 5 open head coaching jobs right now. In the order that they came open, we have Stanford, which is technically still open from last year. Frank Reich is their interim head coach, but they've already said that he is not going to be the guy long term. Andrew Luck is running that program as their GM. I'm interested to see who he brings in for that spot. The next 2 to open up were UCLA and Virginia Tech. UCLA starts off no wins. Deshaun Foster, he's out. Then you have Virginia Tech. Brent Pry, he's out. So those 2 positions are open. Next up, Oklahoma State opened up, firing Mike Gundy, who has been there for God knows how long. I mean, I think he was the 2nd or 3rd longest tenured head coach in college football. He's out. And then Arkansas just opened this past week after they got thrashed by Notre Dame. Sam Pittman is now out at Arkansas. So those are the 5 open positions. I'm going to rank them 1 through 5. And we are going to start with number 5. And it is UCLA. UCLA is a program that doesn't have a ton of huge success. They are the 2nd best team in their own city to USC, both currently and historically. And something that I don't love about their program, as much as I love the Rose Bowl as a home stadium is not great. It's great for the Rose Bowl and for that game specifically, but it's not great as a home stadium. It's like an hour from campus. It takes forever to get there. They don't pack it out. I think the rebuild job, if we look at this in college football 26 terms, is going to be significantly more difficult than any other team on this list. Yes, UCLA is in the Big Ten. UCLA historically is a basketball school. That's always been their bread and butter. They have, they're a blue blood in college basketball. Football, not as much. And I think the lack of historical success, the lack of just vibes around like UCLA, it's not good right now. It's not good right now. There is not a program that I think would be more difficult to build from the ground up than UCLA football, at least from what the open positions are. So you couple that, and the fact that they're in the Big Ten doesn't make things easy, especially considering what they have to do to travel, right? Like all of that makes it incredibly difficult. So I think UCLA is the bottom of the open positions. Now, do I think that it can be improved? Yes, I absolutely think it can. And I think the man to do it is none other than Jason Eck. Yes, Jason Eck, the New Mexico head coach who came in, or New Mexico State head coach who came in and won at UCLA. He has been incredible for them. Now, he was the head coach at Idaho prior to heading to New Mexico. I was right the first time. I don't know why I doubted myself. So before he went to New Mexico, he was the head coach at Idaho, was incredibly successful there. He's had a lot of success at the FCS level, and I think that is something that would translate fairly well, especially to a program like UCLA. They need an identity. They need something to build and believe in, and I think Jason Eck is that guy. He's also very creative. Like, there is not very many offensive minds like Jason Eck who really can get creative, do a lot of the fun things. He's also building a Big Ten football team. You have to be able to build the lines. He was an offensive line coach at Montana State, South Dakota State, before becoming the head man at Idaho. I think Jason Eck is going to be a great head coach. He's young. Younger. He's 48. I would like to see him in a bigger head coaching role than New Mexico. I like him in New Mexico, but I think he can do bigger and better things. I think UCLA should take a shot on Jason Eck. So that's my pick for UCLA. Keeping it moving, Oklahoma State is my number 4 team. There are certain things that I am looking for in these positions, and the Big 12 is so chaotic. I don't love where the conference has been headed. I do. They recently did a partnership with Barstool, and they're expanding their brand, and I think that is the right way to go for the Big 12. Embrace the chaos, embrace what makes Big 12 football different, and that is the fact that it's seemingly any team can win this league each and every year. Arizona State was picked last in the Big 12 media poll prior to last season, and they ended up winning the whole damn thing, right? So the Big 12 is chaos, and I like that for Oklahoma State. The problem is that you are replacing a guy who has been there for 20 years. Like, you are not going in and replacing a coach who was there for 4 years, it didn't work out, and now he's gone. Mike Gundy had a ton of success, and if I am imagining how things go at Oklahoma State, you have a lot to rebuild. And more importantly, you have to build an identity in a conference where your biggest rival is gone. Bedlam is no more, right? Oklahoma, they've moved on to the SEC. So Oklahoma State has to establish an identity in a conference that, quite frankly, the conference doesn't know if they have an identity right now. Their two big players are gone. I just don't love where Oklahoma State sits. They're solid from a financial standpoint. I don't think finances are going to be a huge issue, right? But at the same time, I think there are some of these programs that are in a little bit of a better spot. Oklahoma State's roster, as it stands right now, is awful. There are several group of 5 teams with better rosters than what Oklahoma State has on paper right now. You're starting from the ground up with this roster. Now, that being said, I think there is a guy who can do it and do it well, and it's G.J. Kinney, I think is how you pronounce his name. He's Texas State's head coach, and he has been very, very, very good. He's young, looks 36. I like what this guy has, and he's a quarterback, right? So he has the offensive mind. He's 31-13 as a head coach. He was the head coach at Incarnate Word before Texas State, and they've had incredible success there. Here's where I don't think a lot of people realize the success that G.J. Kinney has had. He is a very, very, very good evaluator of the quarterback position. And I don't think that is talked about enough. He was the co-OC quarterbacks coach at UCF. He was great at Incarnate Word. I believe Cam Ward was at Incarnate Word while G.J. Kinney was there. And then you have him now at Texas State. I just really like what's going on with G.J. Kinney, what he's able to do at Texas State. He's familiar with that area. He's born in Mesquite, Texas. Like, there's a lot to like about how he fits within the Oklahoma State program. I think I think coach to program fit is very important in college football. One example of it right now, Brian Kelly does not fit LSU at all. And I think that builds friction within the program, within the fans. You can tell. It's clear as day on Saturdays. You can't fake that. There is no faking that. So I think if you get a guy that fits, it really helps his chances of success. And I think G.J. Kinney, being a Texas guy, is a great, great, great fit for what the program at Oklahoma State needs right now, which is a complete rebuild from the ground up. So that's who I have at number 4. At number 3, Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech, being positioned in the ACC, it's a good spot for them. They have potential to move if the conferences do realign at some point. I could absolutely see the SEC, taking a gander at Virginia Tech. That being said, Blacksburg is a place where you can have football success. Like, there has been football success at Virginia Tech. They do have no national title to their name, at least that they claim. But they do have a lot of conference titles, and they have conference titles fairly recently, 2007, 2008, 2010, all in the ACC. They have a 2004 conference title as well after they got out of the Big East. I think there is room for Virginia Tech to be good. There also is a potential vacuum in the ACC in terms of who are the good teams, because right now Clemson does not look good. Right? Florida State, they were 2-10 last year. They look fairly good this year. Miami, they've been good, but they've never been great. Miami has never won an ACC title. So can you take this Virginia Tech program and take it to the next level? Can you take the Enter Sandman and bring that into the glory of really, really good college football, because they've had that at times. I think you absolutely can. I think you absolutely can. But you have to bring somebody in who brings in some excitement into this program, brings juice into the program. You think Virginia Tech, you immediately picture Enter Sandman. You immediately picture chaos. You picture the night games under the lights in Blacksburg, and it's shaking, and you have, Lee Corso getting his car struck by lightning. It's chaos, and you need somebody who brings that energy, which is why my pick for Virginia Tech's head coach would be John Gruden. John Gruden desperately wants to get back into coaching. I don't think that there is many coaches who desire to get back into coaching like John Gruden does. I think he's done in the NFL. I think he's burned enough bridges there, especially suing the NFL and Roger Goodell, that it's probably done. Teams aren't going to take a shot on him, but that doesn't mean he's not a good coach. I think he's a tremendous coach, and I think he could get the best out of a lot of guys in a weird era of college football where you do have guys are doing TikToks, right? And they're getting paid, and there's a flashiness to college football. Not saying any of that's bad. It's just the reality of what college football is now. I love it. But I think John Gruden can be an old school guy in terms of like bringing back some old school schematic things football wise, the I formation and the hard counts and all the stuff that he loves to preach, right? But I also think that if you get him in the right program, I think he could get guys in recruiting wise that buy into what he sells, which is a love for football. Because at the end of the day, even when he's been fired, he has done nothing but love football for the last, 4 or 5 years. I think he would be a tremendous hire. I think he could do a good job at several of these open coaching positions, but I would love to see him at Virginia Tech. Now, next up, the number 2 spot. I think it's going to be shocking that I have this team here, but I do, and it's the Stanford Cardinal. I think Stanford is very, very slept on. Now, I am a Notre Dame fan. I have no shame in saying that I'm a Notre Dame fan, so maybe this is a little bias here. But I do like Stanford at the 2 spot. But before we get into Stanford, real quick, if you guys like college sports merch, if you're watching on YouTube right now and not the audio version of the podcast, you can see I am wearing a nice Mizzou little throwback here type of shirt. I got it at Home Field Apparel. They make the best college merch in the game. One of the best ways to support this channel is support the companies that I work with, and Home Field Apparel is the absolute best. They make all sorts of graphic tees, bomber jackets, hats. They just released a ridiculous line of hats. I think they added like 25 or 30 new hats. It's incredible, and you get 15% off with code SMASH at checkout. That's code SMASH at homefieldapparel.com. Go give them a look. They make, seriously, I've gone down to their warehouse. I've met their people. They are an incredible company that I absolutely stand behind 100%. So go check them out. Stanford. They have great Stanford merch. Go check it out. I don't think people realize or forget, because Stanford has been so bad recently, that they have been a very, very, very good football program. Fun fact, they have had 5 Heisman runner-ups in the last 20 years. 5 Heisman runner-ups in the last 20 years. Bryce Love, Toby Gerhart, Andrew Luck twice, Christian McCaffrey. They can get talent into Santa Clara. Like that is not a problem. You can get talent to come to Stanford. And in a world of NIL and opportunities and marketing and creating a brand and all do you know how valuable that would be at Stanford? Stanford. Like this is programs that have had guys like Richard Sherman come through. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to win a national title and be competitive at Stanford. I think you could get Stanford into the college football playoff. Now, does them being in the ACC suck? Yes. However, I do think that there are some programs who can kind of rise above where they're at in their conference. I think Stanford is one of those. I truly believe that if you get the right person into Stanford and you get the right support, like Andrew Luck loves this program and wants to build it back correctly, I think you could be a lifer at Stanford if you do this job correctly. I truly, truly believe that. There are some positions here where I think the expectations are going to be so high that it might be your downfall. That's not the case at Stanford. I think if you can be successful year in and year out and put competitive football on the field on Saturdays, Stanford will love you. And we've seen guys be successful at Stanford, and then like Jim Harbaugh, like is an incredible head coach. Stanford has had a great line of coaches, and I don't understand why people are sleeping on. I get maybe it's because they haven't had, a guy come in a long time that's been outstanding, right? Like the Harbaugh era ended in 2010, but he turned that around so quickly. And even then, like David Shaw was not a bad coach for a long time. Like he was solid for the first portion of his stay there. Like there's room for Stanford to be great. And I would love to see that happen. My pick for the Stanford job. I know that everybody wants to see this guy become an SEC head coach, but I would love to see him out in Santa Clara, and that is John Summerall. I think what he's done at Tulane, the way that he carries himself, because I originally was like, well, NFL coach, like that NFL coaching style has worked at Stanford. I get like John Gruden is going to need a smart quarterback, and you can get that at Stanford. But I don't think Stanford is willing to take a risk on a guy like Gruden. I love the Summerall fit. I think he has shown the type of coach that he is while at Tulane. And I think that he really is going to be a incredible coach. I don't see why he couldn't do it at Stanford. Like that, to me, it's just such a fun pairing. And I think it can make Stanford football fun again. And at the end of the day, that's what I want out of this list, is to have the best football product. And I think that would deliver an incredible football product. I love John Summerall. Looking at some of his stats, by the way, it's very impressive. Like it's very, very impressive. He was great at Troy, and obviously he hasn't been at Tulane for very long, only 2 years, going into his second season. He's 36-10 as a head coach, like 2 Sun Belt championships. I think it's so impressive what he's done in a very short time. And I understand that he went into Tulane after Willie Fritz, and Willie Fritz had set that program up for success very quickly. But damn it, I believe. I believe. I mean, in his 2 years at Troy, he was 12-2 and 11-2. Like that's pretty damn good. So I didn't realize that he played at Kentucky and had a season-ending injury, which you learn something new every day. So, all right, the last one on this list. And before we get into the last one, right, it's obvious we've already talked about, the 5 coaching jobs available, and hey, this is the last one. So now that we're here, hit that subscribe button. If you've made it this far into the video, we're 18 minutes in. I really appreciate it. So hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to help the program. We're closing in on 600 subscribers. I'm hoping to do some giveaways here soon, especially now that we're coming into March Madness, and hoping to do a lot of really cool content in the offseason. So hit that subscribe button. That being said, the number 1 coaching job available right now is Arkansas. And it's very clear as day as to why. Right now, do I think other coaching jobs could come available? Florida, that would pass this one up? Yes. But right now, it's Arkansas. And the reason it's Arkansas is twofold. Number 1, they do not have a shortage of money. They got Walmart money. They got Jerry Jones money. They got Tyson Chicken money. They have money. They have money flowing out of their ears. Their AD came out earlier in the season and said, look, we are trying to compete for national titles. Football's not there yet. Basketball absolutely is. They went out and got John Calipari. Like they are spending oodles and oodles of money on that college basketball roster. You don't think they would do the same for a competitive football program? Arkansas would die for that. They would die for a competitive football program. Now, they have one claimed national title. It's not like there's a ton of historical success at Arkansas, and the pressure is going to be sky high. You were jumping into a super competitive SEC, and you were going to expect to compete right away. This is not an easy job. I would say that the expectations of this job are easily the highest on this list, and I think the competition is without a shadow of a doubt the highest, right? You have a Big Ten, formerly Pac-12 job at UCLA. You have a Big 12 job at Oklahoma State and 2 ACC jobs at Stanford and Virginia Tech. This is This is in that different tier. The Arkansas coaching job is a different tier. You have to have proven coaching experience. You have to have shown that you could do it at the highest level. They hired in Sam Pittman. Sam Pittman, former offensive line coach for Georgia, right? Doesn't have head coaching experience prior. I think it's interesting that, they haven't gone with a super proven coach in the past, but I think this is where they do. I really like what they have here. I think Arkansas is a place where you can be successful. They have the money. They're willing to spend it. They have the tools. And that is why I think that Arkansas goes and they get their man. He comes back home. It is Rhett Lashley. He went to high school in Arkansas. He played quarterback under Gus Malzahn. There is a lot to be had with Rhett Lashley. He's taken SMU to the college football playoff. He's guided SMU, which I don't think people will appreciate this as much. He's guided SMU through a transition in where they went from the Group of Five in the American to the Power Five in the ACC. A very weird transition, and yet he pulled it off seamlessly. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. He's 31-14 as a head coach. Is SMU going to be a college football playoff team this year? Probably not. But I don't think that is anything less on him as a head coach. He is a very, very good head coach. He's Arkansas, born and raised. I think this is an opportunity where you can go and get a guy from your state that believes in the program. I talked earlier about how having a coach program fit is critical. I think there doesn't get to be much better coach program fits than what happens here with Rhett Lashley in Arkansas. Now, everybody's going to talk about it. Everybody's already talking about it. But I do think that it would be a great fit for the program. I think Arkansas would do themselves a service by at least exploring this option. And I would be really excited to see if Rhett Lashley can bring Arkansas to a level where, quite frankly, they haven't been in a long time, right? Or Arkansas, their claimed national title is from 1964, right? I don't think they have an SEC title. They have 13 conference titles, but I don't know if that is the Southwest Conference or the SEC. I would have to look. But it really truly is a spot where there has been success. There has been success. Yeah, all of the conference championships were in the Southwest Conference. So they don't have any SEC championships. But I truly think that there is potential for this to happen. So I like Rhett Lashley. Give me him at Arkansas. That being said, and so to wrap it up, here's my final ranking of all of the open coaching positions. At number 5, I think UCLA. I would love to see Jason Eck in this job. I think it would be super fun. At number 4, I have Oklahoma State. G.J. Kinney from Texas State. He's a Texas guy. I think he fits well. The program to coach fit there would be incredible. Give me G.J. Kinney in Stillwater. At number 3, Virginia Tech. I would love to see Virginia Tech hire John Gruden, bring some energy into that program that matches the Enter Sandman vibes that go on in Blacksburg. At number 2, give me the Stanford Cardinal. I don't think that people respect this program enough. I think they can absolutely rise to a competitive place in college football, and I would love to see John Sumrall do it. I know that people have already gifted him some of the SEC coaching openings that are either open now or will be coming open, but I would love to see John Sumrall at Stanford. And then lastly, this is, in my opinion, the best coach to program fit. I think Arkansas is the best open coaching job right now, and I would love to see Rhett Lashley make the transition from SMU in the ACC to Arkansas in the SEC. I think he can bring some life. I think he can use that Walmart and Tyson and Jerry Jones money to really make Arkansas pop. So at number 1, give me the Arkansas Razorbacks. If you've made it to this point in the podcast, leave a comment of who you would want to see in a specific job. If there's a name that I just missed, right? Let's say it's hey, dude, there's a glaring, the offensive coordinator, or Alex Golish is, I know, a name that's popular. He would be phenomenal at blank school. Let me know in the comments. I really appreciate it. All of your guys' support is the absolute best, and we will see you in the next one. Like and subscribe, do all those things, and love yous. Peace.